Start. Dim.
Hello again, welcome back to Legally Cited. This is BGFH and I'm back here for another iOS accessible app video. And if you remember a while ago on the blog, I covered a little app called Fleksy, or Fleksy Happy Typing. And this is an alternative keyboard app that is actually really kind of cool. And now that I can actually record the screen, I figured now would be a good time to show it to you. So let's go ahead and open it up real quick.
Fleksy.
Alright, so here is the Fleksy.
Activate keyboard with a single tap before typing.
Hush. F-L-E-K-S-Y. Not normally how you would think it would be spelled. But your Fleksy app, basically what it is it's a app where you have on the top, you basically just have a white area which is where your text will appear once you're typing it. And the bottom third is the Fleksy keyboard. And what makes this keyboard different from the one that you would use in any other iOS app is that it uses its own predictive typing engine, and it also uses some gestures to basically try to make typing a lot faster and more efficient. So you're not actually having to, if you're a visual typist, you're not having to, really concentrate on looking and finding every key. So you could actually type without looking at the screen, whether you're sighted, visually impaired, or totally blind. And, if you're blind and maybe you find some of the, the touch typing or the other mode, not quite as efficient, this is actually a pretty cool way, and it does actually make things pretty fast. So the way this works is if I touch the bottom of the keyboard here,
activate keyboard with a single tap before typing.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna, for whatever reason, my recording app is blocking some of the sounds that I would normally hear. And you don't really hear a lot, but when I do type something, I do hear a little tap. I am using the app with VoiceOver, but because of the way I'm typing, VoiceOver is not going to tell me every letter that I type. And you just have to learn to trust that, because like I said, the way this works is that it's all about the predictive typing. It tries to figure out what you want to type. So the way it works is I take my finger and I can just tap where I think the letters are, if you're familiar with the standard QWERTY keyboard layout. And you just tap where the fingers are, or where you think the keys are. And then when you're done with a word, you swipe right with one finger, and it will add a space, and VoiceOver will then speak the word that you typed. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to type, well, I'll show you here.
Today.
Yep, that's exactly the word I meant to type. And you notice, if you can see what was on the screen, that came up pretty fast. And even if visually, let's say you are looking at the screen, you might see wrong letters appear, because it doesn't actually parse the result until you actually swipe to the right to make that space bar. So it just automatically changes it, and it figures it out once you do the space bar. So today...
If.
Nope, I don't want if. I want is. So I could swipe left with one finger to back over that word, but instead, and I understand why it didn't get it quite right, because ISIF, I wasn't quite, close enough to the S where it registered. So I can swipe down with one finger.
Of.
No, I don't want of. Nope. Is. So all I did is swipe down. So think of it like a spell check thing, where you're basically like, oh, nope, this is the result that I want. Now that I'm on is, I don't have to do anything else. It just changes it to that word, and I can continue typing. I don't have to do like an enter or another swipe right. I can just keep typing. So I'm going to say this today is
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, that was exactly what I wanted to type. Now, because I want to do a comma for this sentence, I'm going to flick to the right one more time. So if I flick right, it's going to add a space, but if I flick right one more time, it's going to give me
period.
A menu of punctuation that I can choose from, and by default it's period. And again, just like if I was choosing an alternate word, if I want to choose an alternate punctuation, I can swipe down with one finger.
Comma.
And boom, comma is actually what I want. Again, I don't have to swipe to the right or anything. I can just start typing again. So I'm going to say...
By.
Nope, I don't want by, so I'm going to swipe down.
But.
Ah. So I'm going to swipe back and get rid of that.
Wish. If. Were.
Yeah, sorry.
Friday.
Perfect. And then because I'm done with the sentence, I'm going to swipe to the right again.
Period.
So you notice I backspaced a few times, and when I did that, all I did is I swiped to the left with one finger, and it does not get rid of one letter at a time because you're actually working at a faster, you're theoretically typing a lot faster than you would on a typical touch keyboard. You're swiping left and just scratching the entire word, and then you can start that word over, which, if you're typing some, you might think that would be a big deal, but it's really not, because then you just start typing again, boom, 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 and within a couple seconds, you've got the word typed again. So, I've typed my first sentence. Now I can, if I take two fingers and swipe down.
New line. New line.
Okay, I did it twice. And I find that the two-finger swipe down gesture, you have to do it, you have to be pretty precise and do it quickly. You can't just kind of drag a little bit. You really kind of have to give it just a quick, flick down with those two fingers, because I find that's one gesture that is a little finicky sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't seem to work. But if you'll get used to it after a little while. So, now that I'm on a new line, I could just start typing again.
Thug. This. App. It's. Pretty. Cool. Period.
Yeah, see there it.
New line. New line.
So, okay, so I just did a quick sentence for you there. Now, what's really interesting is that I'm doing this on the iPhone 5, of course, but I've tried this also on the iPad, and because you have a larger screen, especially if you're using it in landscape mode, what's great is you get the feel of where the keys are and stuff, or if you know the regular layout of a keyboard. I actually got to the point where I could almost pretty efficiently type, like do actual touch typing, just hover my both hands over the touch screen of my iPad and actually do 5-finger touch typing. And I was probably typing a good 30 words a minute when I was actually practicing it a bit. So, it's not going to be probably as quick as an actual physical keyboard, but you can get typing pretty fast. You can start flying once you get used to just the gestures, and you get some muscle memory for really getting close to the letters that you mean to type, and it works really well. So you can also do extra punctuation, not just the common ones, like if you need some quotes or parentheses or things like that. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to demo that to you, because I actually tried recording this one other time, and because of the audio not all the way coming through, I'm not getting some of the feedback that I wanted, but I'm going to try it here real quick. So what I do is if I hold my finger down on the physical keyboard,
F, Fleksy, D, Z, numbers.
There we go. So
Numbers.
In the bottom left corner, I just drag my finger to the bottom left of the screen, and now I've switched the regular keypad into a numeric keypad like you would have
5, 2,
on a calculator. Or actually a phone. Actually, it would be a phone. I'm sorry, a phone keypad. So you have your 10 key keypad, and if I slide my finger along, and basically if you want to manually type something in, this goes for numbers, this also goes back for letters. I'll show you in a second here. I'm just going to drag my finger. So yeah, now I'm not getting the feedback.
8.
Come on.
New line. Letters. Letters.
Okay, so sometimes it doesn't really register as well with this app going. So if I really want to be precise, I can touch and hold the keyboard, and then this keyboard actually turns into basically how you would use touch typing mode on the standard Apple keyboard that comes on your iOS device. So I can drag my finger over whatever letter or number or punctuation that I want, and I can let go when I hear exactly the one that I want. And this comes in handy, especially even on this QWERTY keyboard, for times when you're entering somebody's name or a proper, especially like a proper noun, where it's just a weirdly spelt thing and there's no way that Fleksy's really going to be able to predict that. It does pretty good with some standard names, but like I said, if you have something that's really a bit tricky to spell, or to spell or pronounce or something, it may have trouble with that, and that's where your manual typing can come in handy. So now that I've typed a couple of different things, okay, that's great. What do I do with it? Because one of the limitations that Apple has is that they do not allow third-party keyboards or third-party interfaces aside from what they design. So this goes for not only touchscreen keyboards like this, but it also goes for dictation apps. So before Siri came out, you had apps like Dragon and stuff like that, where you could actually dictate and do kind of the same thing we're doing here with this virtual keyboard. So the trick is that you have to copy and paste. So you type all that you want, and then you have to copy it, select it and copy it into the clipboard, and then it goes to whatever app you want to. So I'm going to flick up with 2 fingers.
Alert. Today is Wednesday, but I wish it were Friday. This app is pretty cool. 52.
Alright, so I just have a couple lines of text there. I have got a couple sentences, and I've got the number that I did. And the first thing that what happens when I flick up with 2 fingers is it reads me the text that I've typed. Then I have a menu.
Copy and clear button.
I can copy the text to the clipboard and clear, so then when I go into another app I can use my rotor, and then I can go to edit mode and paste.
Favorites button.
Favorites, I haven't set any of these up yet, but if I use Fleksy a lot, you can actually coordinate it with some of your contacts that you really most often use. So if I wanted to, let's say that I emailed somebody really often that I wanted to type quickly to, or I wanted to text somebody, or message them, whatever, I could work those into my Fleksy favorites, so I could just go there, choose a person, boom, and it's sent.
Email button.
I can email this block of text to somebody.
Message button.
I can text it to somebody.
Tweet button.
Tweet it.
Facebook button.
Facebook.
Instructions button.
And instructions button.
Settings button. Heartsuite. Fleksy and other apps button. Settings button.
So I can change some settings there.
Heartsuite. We love feedback button.
And there's where you can basically email them, email the actual team for feedback.
Follow iFleksy button.
And I can follow Fleksy on Twitter.
Visit Fleksy.com. Export dictionary button.
And export dictionary. So this is another feature that I haven't really used, so I'm not really going to cover on this specific video. But for words that you do type often, and maybe that you do have to type manually, there is a section in the help that tells you how to add your own custom words to the dictionary, similar to how you would do that in a spell checker for like a word processor. So, rather than having to manually kind of type things carefully for something that you consistently type, you can actually just make Fleksy learn it, and then you can type the crazy word and then it'll type it perfectly fine. So really powerful app, and like I said, I wasn't immediately sold on it when I heard about it. I mean, I love the idea, but I thought that the productivity level of it wouldn't be quite fast enough, and I found that it is actually very fast and well worth checking out, especially now that it has gone free. So I gotta wrap it up here, but that gives you a quick intro to Fleksy. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, I will talk to you guys later.
Stop.